Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to your June blessing messages. So keep in mind these are collective in general. Receive what aligns, release what does not align with you. Remember never to give your power away to a reading or an outcome. You're a conscious creator and you are powerful. So let's get into it, Sagittarius. Okay, so you have definitely some magic here happening in June for you. Starting out with like the places or spaces that will be bringing in blessings, we have the birthplace of dreams, pursuit of goals, and belief of possibilities. And there's like a sparkler there, which reminds me of the Ace of Wands, which is like the spark of creation or passion or an idea. So there's some sort of incredible idea that you have, something that you're working on that is bringing you a lot of blessings, okay? You feel very inspired and you are pursuing your goals in June. We also have the energy of museum, artifacts and exhibits, interactive displays, museum collections. Some of you, it could be an actual museum, right, as a location, but some of you, when I get this card, I think past lives. So you could be bringing something forward from a past life, or maybe when you're walking through a museum, you kind of have that recognition or that connection in with a past life here that is bringing you some sort of blessing or tool that's helpful for you on your journey. Now, when it comes to the energy that's bringing a blessing to you, the character, the person, the archetype, we have King, Sovereign of Realms, okay? So there's someone that maybe you look up to that is bringing in some support here for you. This could be someone that inspires you, okay? You could be receiving some sort of blessing from someone that to you kind of feels like royalty, or it's you stepping into your king energy and you are the one that is bringing in the blessings here. You are the one stepping forward into the authority, right? You are the one who, yes, is stepping forward into your sovereign self, okay? So that is really beautiful. We also have, for your creative blessing, we have bravely market your magic. So those of you that are business owners, you're going to be putting yourself out there bravely, but it's also, with your magic, with your vision, right? With your authenticity, with kind of this, like casting a spell. That's what it kind of feels like you're casting a spell, but in the best way, for like the good of humanity, right? But marketing your magic means that you're shining bright and you're owning it and you're not watering yourself down in any way. You might be using brighter, bolder colors or just really standing out, not afraid to stand out here. You're not afraid to show your gifts. You're also shifting the way to new potential. So there's healing energy coming through here. There's probably quantum shifts happening in your experience. There's that deep, beautiful green energy. Okay, so you could be seeing yourself in a new light, or just the way that you create is shifting and changing, but in a beautiful way. In a way that maybe feels more aligned with you, maybe feels more high frequency, maybe feels more divine. Like that's the kind of energy that is coming through here. When it comes to your blessings from your gifts, your spiritual gifts, we have clairaudience, okay? And we have messages from spirit. And what's highlighted is you are loved, okay? So you're going to be receiving really supportive, loving messages. Keep in mind, if in your clairaudience you hear messages that are not of a loving nature or supportive nature, then that's not spirit. That's not something that is high frequency, right? That could be your own monkey mind, your ego. That can be, lower frequency things. So, be sure to clear, cancel, delete, and, clear that out of your experience if that's the case. But it feels like with your clairaudience, which could be a very strong spiritual gift for you, you're receiving messages from spirit that are really loving, okay? And really supportive of the transformations that you're making in your experience. I'm seeing with that butterfly. Okay, and since for some of you it could also be like in the form of animals, in the form of, inspiring insects like butterflies that represent, beauty and transformation, and not, you're starting to see more of your magic, right? You're starting to own more of that here. But it feels like you have this love and support and almost like spirit's giving you the green light, and bringing in messengers for you, right? That are really uplifting and inspiring, at just the right times on your journey in June. We also have for your blessings in June, surrender to joy. A key to a positive change in your life is to let joy in and savor it. Indulge in random acts of smiling during both the hard and easy times. Keep surrendering to more joy. Okay? So, yeah, you could also be shifting with this shift away to new potential. You could be starting to create from a joy frequency, from a very healed space, right? From a very high frequency space here, too. There's definitely a quantum shift happening here in your energy. When it comes to your inner child blessing in June, we have strength. This challenge will make you stronger. You will get through to the other side. Look for the gifts in the situation. And we have abundance. You're going to have some sort of breakthrough in your abundance, is what I'm seeing here. So you might be challenged by your ego or challenged by some of your fears in June, but look at the contrast. Okay? That's beautiful. We have abundance. Enjoy the beauty of life. Your supply is unlimited. Blessings are coming to you. So again, you're receiving these blessings and this support because you've shifted to a higher frequency. You're in alignment with, with your soul path. It feels like with your soul calling, you're creating from a place that's very authentic and healing. That deep green energy is deeply healing, right? You're surrendering to joy. And when it comes to, interestingly enough, when it comes to like love and relationships, this is fascinating, Sagittarius. We have the Death card, the Stars, and the Queen of Swords. So for some of you, and only take what resonates, okay? This is not for all of you. Those of you that were going through a divorce, maybe it finalizes in June, right? And you're like, okay, you set that boundary and now you're focusing on healing and moving forward. Some of you're transforming, and in your transformation, embracing the shadow as well, you're learning to set really healthy boundaries. And that's so important for you, for your wish fulfillment, for your healing journey. Okay. And that's what I'm seeing here with the Stars and the Queen of Swords is you're expressing your truth. You're setting your boundaries. You're standing up for yourself. You're raising your standards, which happens when you shift your frequency and like when you heal, right? For some of you, there could be a feminine energy in your experience or some sort of wound that came from a feminine energy that's going to be released. And that is a relief and that is a blessing. It could be an ex energy with that Queen of Swords energy. But that Death card says that's being released. And same with the Stars. The Star card is about hope. It's about healing. It happens after the Tower. So that Star card is letting you know, like, healing is here. So if that's the case that you're releasing, and you could be a feminine energy still releasing something, or someone that was toxic with the Queen of Swords. Or even criticism, or even like a mother figure that was really critical of you. It could just be you're healing from those criticisms. You're healing from, the pain of that experience. And the Star energy is about healing, right? That Star energy is about your alignment. And so some of you could be healing a mother wound. Some of you, it's you're releasing an ex. Okay, there's a confirmation perhaps. Some of you are just very strong in who you are and speaking your truth and setting your boundaries and honoring your alignment. And you're being praised for that, I feel like, by the universe. And you're realizing how much better you feel, right? And you're feeling the contrast too, whether you're feminine or masculine. You're feeling the contrast of like what it's like to be with a healthy feminine or masculine energy versus an unhealthy one, right? And so like that in itself is healing when you realize that, especially if you're like in a toxic relationship and someone's treating you a certain way, it becomes a norm for you. And then someone treats you with a lot of, the opposite, with a lot of love and respect and support, it can be a very healing experience. So I feel like there's a release of some sort of toxicity, and there's the ability to speak up for yourself, set your boundaries, and really focus on your wish fulfillment. Or for those of you that are single, manifesting in, a partner that will align on you on this higher timeline, that will be in this higher frequency and will be a very healing connection for you. Okay. The other blessing that we have is, what else could this mean? Okay. There are multiple ways to look at a situation. Our first reaction is usually rooted in our fears and limiting beliefs. Look at a situation today by stepping outside of the trigger and ask, what else could this mean? Today's soul action. Is there something in your soul that is calling you is calling you to learn in this moment? Or is there a pattern that is ready to be broken? Walk in the other person's shoes and see it from their perspective. If it doesn't involve someone else, ask yourself, how is life happening for me right now? Okay? Well, that's a mix of things. And I don't always take the words as, as each word, as, full truth necessarily. But what it's saying here, some of you is you're forgiving, you're releasing, you're healing. Some of you, you're realizing, this reminds me of energy cords. You're releasing an energy cord to someone who maybe had done a lot of damage in your experience in like your love life, a toxic connection. And you're releasing it in a very neutral way, but you're also seeing things from that person's perspective without, it's not in a way where you like look at them and feel and don't still hold them accountable, but it brings a more balanced perspective to you and a more empowered perspective to you, because there's some pattern being pointed out to you too, that's important for you to release here, right? So this is really beautiful energy. You're definitely like shifting timelines, okay, in June. I just saw 1111, which is portal energy to shift timelines. So well done. Keep manifesting, okay? Keep surrendering to joy, realizing that you deserve joy, and start to get comfortable with this new version of you, because you are shifting and changing, and it's going to take a little bit of time to kind of acclimate to it, but there's a lot of healing happening here, and I would say even with the love and relationships, for some of you, if it's not the case of breaking up or a divorce or separation or an ex energy, it could be that there's some sort of healing happening around a truth, right? Or within a connection, even if it is just being released. But there's healing, balance, and like a neutral kind of approach to it, where all of the like push pull, frustration, anger, toxicity has been like released, right? You can do that sometimes with energies, just release back to source, to be transmuted into love and light, or to be healed out of your field, okay? I didn't mean for that to rhyme, it just happened. So anyways, receive what aligns, release what doesn't. I hope that you enjoyed your blessing messages for June. Take the best care of yourself. Congratulations on your quantum shift, and I will see you soon.